Welcome back to here with Goldberg. Today we'll be talking about the problem solver male. No, this is not about masculine men working in trades or DIY projects, of which I've done quite a few, and I don't know if anyone shares my sentiments. The video always seems, oh, it's pretty straightforward and quick, and in reality it takes much longer. It's messy. Your measurements don't seem to quite align. It doesn't look as it's supposed to. That's a great way to just get angry. I don't know why people tell guys to go into trades. I think, at least for a lot of folks, it's just going to make you more and more irritated with your existence. But that being said, when I talk about the problem solver male, because people go into this with a Chad, oofy doofy, whatever it is, this is frankly too much noise. The vast majority of men, if women are even bothering to give you the time of day in the present year, it is because they have an issue which they are looking to see you resolve. And it's not necessarily wanting a relationship, although that could be a sort of a fringe advantage of these other things being addressed. And let's get to the bottom of it. So we can start with women who have medical issues. Now, obviously, I'm not necessarily saying they're in a wheelchair like Ian Omar here, but there are girls who collect disability for autism, for insomnia, for emotional stress, for, maybe something was plugged in and got too far up and couldn't be released. There's a lot of reasons. I went out with a girl. She was overall pretty cool. She was this gamer chick, but she was on partial disability because of breathing issues, which you might say is somewhat legitimate. And she worked part time from home, remote, living in a gated community with mom and dad. And so we're vibing pretty well, but I don't do this as a means of talking myself up. Just in casual conversation, you talk about that you have a car or two, that you live in a house. And she just couldn't believe that. She could not accept that because I don't have a really high status position that I would have been able to achieve these things, which sometimes I wonder whether they're actually achievements or just additional burdens that you have to contend with. But she was consistently trying to probe me financially. Now, just for a disclaimer, I have to say,
I know I didn't get a Becky probe, and I'm not under feminine control.
but she was doing this, and she even made some remark about trying to guilt trip her sister's boyfriend into buying her a $60 video game. So you definitely get that sense where she was looking for a guy who's going to pamper her, regardless of whether she makes money or not. And this is a common theme. Like, another girl went out with a good job, living with mom and dad, never offered to pay, never offered to cover anything. This other chick openly said Justin Trudeau is a great leader. He's inspirational to men and women alike. And no, hey, I can put some money down for the tip, or I can pay my share, yours. No. So they might have money, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily willing to expend it. Or they might be in the case of the one medically where they don't make that much, and so they're like, okay, you better be prepared to take care of me. I've seen this on a very consistent trend, and this is across different races, cultures, religions, mind you. It's not just say, well, you're singling out these women being unfair. Then you have the failure to launch women. I have two such instances to report here. The first, I believe she was half black, half chips and queso, almost 40 years old, working a very low wage customer service job in hospitality management, maybe 16, 17 bucks an hour. Not head of the hotel or directing the catering, but essentially, hi, would you like a smoking or a non-smoking room? Can I smoke in the room with you? Can I smoke you in the room? Well, wait, what did I say? Okay. And on top of this, living with a roommate, doesn't drive. And I was like, so is there a reason you're not driving? Well, I mean, I just never did it. Okay, so essentially, I'm an hour and a half away. This means I'm going to have to lug your fat ass around, and uh, you're going to very quickly be pressuring that this needs to be serious because you are trying to reach for a lifesaver at middle age. The second one was somewhat similar, although older, early 40s, all dark chocolate in this case, working as a secretary. And she's messaging me on multiple apps. I said, honey, you need to sit your fat ass down. And believe me, it was quite jiggly. But I just try to get a sense of who she was. I do travel. I wish I could, but I can't because of work. Whenever I hear that from someone who's middle aged, it typically means your company doesn't give you any vacation and you're low wage. Now, why is this such a problem? We get it. If you are a middle aged economic loser brother in America, that's more acceptable, but obviously, I'm not trying to date brothers. If you're a black woman, ever since the 1980s, this country is a gold mine for you, professionally speaking. And unless you had a kid at 13 in the ghetto, if you know how to not talk ratchet or start fights in the workplace, you can almost write your check as a black woman. I'm not saying you're going to be the CEO, but you can be head of an HR division or department. You can work in nonprofits and corporations. Now, with all this DEI, ESG, there are girls that have money coming out of their freaking hoo-haws because of diversity departments and whatnot. In fact, I've met over my lifetime quite a few middle-aged sisters that were supporting brothers that just were failures to launch themselves. So when you meet a middle-aged black woman in the United States and she has some low-wage type position, hasn't progressed at all, you have to say it's probably an IQ or a work ethic problem, if not a combination. But those are the type of women who, of course, the pressure is on. Let's make this serious. Let me move in because they know you have achieved a lot more, and of course, at a younger age, so they can just sit and ride it out as they start to get past the expiry date. And it's brutal. What else can you say? And of course, you have an abundance of fulsome prison hoes. The first I'll discuss, she was a somewhat thick ass country girl, not BBW tier. I always have to be respectful, however, because some of the audience, that's their preference. But it's a situation where when you finally drop the drawers, the guy in the intercom is going, Kaneda, what do you see? Yeah. In any case, she's hitting me up on multiple apps, and we get to texting. She sends out one of those messages where she's going, uh, I had to go to court today. I'm thinking, all right, why? Speeding tickets?
Wish it was that.
So you just go silent, waiting for them to come out of their snail shell. Wait, but snails don't have shells. But her body was kind of shaped like a snail, so F it. So as it turns out, she had to take a plea deal. And she took this plea deal because she allegedly caught her boyfriend cheating, and so she went Carrie Underwood on his property and also to a degree on him. So it entailed multiple years of probation, a $4,000 fine, restitution, and 2 months in the slammer. And I'm going, oh, this is a fine way to introduce yourself to a potential future partner. Maybe she just wanted to pump and dump before she got the prison treatment, but it was very interesting. And now another one, you know how the tradcons and the purposeful men Twitter pages, they're always grabbing each other and kind of stroking with these inspirational quotes, and they say you need to go to bookstores and coffee shops and you know the AVN if you're trying to find a trad wife, a good girl. And so I would go sometimes. I would frequent this little natural food store, which was very pricey, but I liked some of the products they had there from time to time. And at one point, there was this redhead. I talked to her a bit, came back. I noticed that her belly was substantially increased in size. So I said, I guess that's probably not a trad wife. And then at some point, this nice brunette began laboring there as a wage slave. Well, she was reasonably cute, had very striking blue eyes, kind of quiet. I started talking with her, and I noticed that her means of responding was kind of odd. It seemed to be delayed, so I figured maybe she's on drugs. Maybe she just has some kind of autism or whatever. It's fine. But I'm talking with her, and over time, because I didn't see her every time I went in, this is how retail works. People are not on the same day as almost any of the time. But eventually I say, would you like to hang out? And her response is, well, I'm a very busy woman. I only have 1 day off a week. So, oh, that's a ringing endorsement. Plus, I have a 2-year-old. So at this point, Goldberg is slowly, backing out of the store, Neo style. And she proceeds to take out a little scrap of yellow legal pad paper and write her first and last name and hand it to me. I was going, WTF, what, you want me to look you up in the phone book? I said, what, Facebook, Instagram? Yeah. So I leave and I go, all right, this is a lost cause, not even going to bother with it. But out of curiosity later on, I put her name into Google search, and the first thing that pops up is a mugshot. And this girl had multiple DUIs, plus a burglary conviction, which she had gotten like 3 years, but two suspended. So I don't know at that point if you go to county jail, you go to state prison. This is just a quiet, mousy little thing working in a small business, as the tradcons would say. That's where you have to go for a woman. And she is a prisoner, right? So what I'm saying with this, whether it's a single mom who needs you to help take care of their kids, or it's a woman that has significant legal problems where she can't take care of herself, can't get a job, a woman who has not even bothered trying to strive and do well in any type of career or running a business, or a woman has some kind of medical, psychological issues. Often this is what is presented to you. And I'm saying this if you're a decent human being. Now, you might have more luck if you're kind of dark triad, but if you're talking about the vast majority of them, they're going to see you as a target that they can try to take advantage of. That's why, frankly, it does seem to be questionable whether it's a good use of time. So if you're even bothering to interact, keep alert, keep abreast. You want to do stuff with abreast, but you have to keep abreast of them to make sure that, yeah. Anyway, that's the video.